Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now here, two MPs who have been travelling the country to find out the impact of austerity have made their final stop in Glasgow. Here, as at previous cities they've visited, Frank Field and Heidi Allen were told that universal credit is one of the major factors in the rising use of food banks. Charities also said they were now becoming overwhelmed by the sheer numbers of people in need. Our Scotland correspondent Kieran Jenkins reports.
Glasgow is a city plagued by poverty. And if you're out to understand what that means, then consider what they're dealing with here. A food bank overwhelmed. The numbers in need have tripled.
From the 5th of January last year to the 9th of March, we fed 258 people. From the 4th of January this year to the 8th of March this year, 922.
Their stocks of donated food are so low, they're spending thousands buying it themselves.
The numbers are increasing, the donations are not increasing. They've dropped because I think people are feeling the pinch themselves. They normally donate.
How do you explain a problem that gets so much worse within just 12 months?
Well, there's universal credit is the main one.
Those who've paid most.
Universal credit and the benefits freeze. MPs Heidi Allen and Frank Field say they've heard it across their tour of Britain, learning about those who live on nearly nothing. And after the Chancellor's spring statement this week, the benefits freeze remains. Did he do enough for you to end what you've been talking about today?
He didn't do anything. Never mind enough. He did absolutely nothing on welfare whatsoever. And I was really surprised by that.
This is the last stop then before you write your first report. What is the thing you think that you've learned? What's the most striking thing that you've come across on these visits?
That the welfare safety net is no longer such a thing. Frank describes it very well. It's almost as if universal credit is a system built by middle-class people for middle-class claimants.
And what we saw today was a number of voluntary organisations who are brilliant, who are both depressed by what they do but overjoyed that they can help. But none of them believe that they should take the role they've been forced on them to be the safety net.
Now the problems here are the same pretty much as elsewhere, but there has been some difference in the response. The Scottish and UK governments have clashed over universal credit. And while the Work and Pensions Secretary is standing by it, she has recently conceded that some people are resorting to food banks because of delays to their universal credit payments.
It's like the food bank gave me that one. My big sister got
Janet is a single mum with a job in catering at the local hospital. She says nothing changed in her circumstances except moving from tax and child credits onto universal credit.
They've made my life harder, and I've got a 14-year-old boy which can't understand. I can't do the same things that we used to do.
When was the first time that you visited a food bank?
A couple of weeks ago. Actually, my wee sister came with me and she actually pretended she was me because I couldn't. It was horrible.
You couldn't go in?
I went in, but I couldn't speak. Because it's embarrassing. I'm nearly 54 and I've never had to steep so low as I am now.
The Scottish government can't change universal credit. The UK government can, and says people use food banks for varied reasons, but it's made improvements, supporting vulnerable people and getting them into work faster. In Glasgow, though, there's still a tide of hungry people with nowhere else to turn.